He's talking all about his process and his year-by-year plan and kind of growing incrementally. Have you been impressed with his approach?
Absolutely. He went through kind of a freshman role there for a while, but his effort and being here early, staying late has been very consistent. He has a purpose academically, he has a purpose on the floor, and he's working very hard. So, like I said, really good young man, and really excited to work with him.
Is that pretty common? Is that pretty common to have a guy come in and say, I want to have this goal for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4?
Oh, they've got so many people in their ears sometimes. It's the goals change.
Right.
And so, I think with Francis, he, started basketball late, and so he's had, kind of look at it as steps, and getting a late start, and coming over here late, I think he looks at it maybe a little differently than some guys who have grown up here in the States.
The step he said he wanted to take this year was being a guy with a post presence, but then, he'll have a different plan next year beyond that. Like, what kind of player could he eventually develop into?
Well, I think you saw him drive it a little bit from the pinch post. I think he can put it on. I think he'll be able to hit, next year that 15, 17-footer. He's worked on that, and, offense just takes longer. Guys, they don't like to hear that, but, it just to make the progression offensively, it takes years, It takes years to develop a low post game. It takes years to develop a perimeter game, and you just don't snap your fingers and say, hey, I want to play on the perimeter this year. It takes time. And you build a foundation, something that you can go to, and that's what I talked to Francis and even Kenny about. You got to have a go-to. You got to know where I got to get a bucket here. Where do I go? And so, you build that foundation, and hopefully next year you develop a little bit more of your game, and it's a long process. To give you an example, Chris Boucher and how he's built his game. He's been out a couple years and he's still built his game. And that's a young man who's 25 years old. So it's an ongoing process. You're always trying to keep a foundation, have a base, but develop other facets of your game. But it's so important to have something that you're known for, something that you can rely on if you're not playing well.
You touched on this the other night, like just the physicality he has, particularly given the makeup of the rest of your roster and kind of some slight guys being slightly bigger. Just defensively and rebounding, how much is his power?
Well, he's done a good job, and he's been active and he's been aggressive. So, this weekend, 10 rebounds, I think 7 rebounds. He was a presence. Yeah.
How much do you feel these guys can take some of the progress you saw over the weekend on the road?
Absolutely. We hope like heck that we talked to him quite a bit yesterday. We'll talk to him quite a bit more today. That we got to be able to take that on the road, and we're done here at home. We got to go on the road. And, we've had some good halves, but we have not put 40 minutes together like we have at home. We played awfully well against Stanford. We played awfully well in these 2 ball games. So we've had some efforts at home for 40 minutes, but we sure haven't, put that kind of effort or that kind of 40 minutes together anywhere close to that on the road.
Frank's going to be as close of a complete player in this league as you can get.
Absolutely, he is. You talk about, there's a good example of building part of your game every year. He's gotten better and better in every facet, and really developed more of a perimeter game. He's putting it on the floor a little bit more. So that's a young man who is a very good athlete, and that helps him a lot. But he's developed his game in 4 years and become a big-time player.
When you're talking to him about what you want to take from here to the road, you said you talked to him yesterday, you'll talk to him today. What are kind of your points about what they need to do on the road that they haven't done, what you saw here that hasn't happened?
Well, 40 minutes of defense, that's the biggest thing, and 40 minutes of board play, and then the offensive end, we just got to keep moving the ball, and we've scored 70 in each of those games, and not like we shot the ball great, but we shot it well enough. But our defense and rebounding, was what keyed the wins, and that should be able to travel if you have the intensity and the leadership, and guys make that determination, and Washington State can really score. we found that out the first half here. We couldn't stop them. 74% from the field. We couldn't stop them. So we're just taking that type of consistency, that kind of communication, you know, for 40 minutes on the day.
Did you get a sense in last week's practice that this team had a little bit of a different intensity?
Oh, not really. Practices, you know if you're practicing there, it's awful tough. But you know, we didn't have bad practices, but we didn't have great practices. But you know, a sense of urgency. I think, you know, just all of a sudden it's March, you know, and we haven't not where we should be. I'm sure wish they'd have figured that out a little earlier, but looked at the calendar, you know, a couple months ago. But no, I didn't have an indication that we'd be as sharp as we were. I thought we really played hard. I thought we really communicated well on the defensive end, and our board play was good. So, other than a few transition baskets in the first half against Arizona, you know, I thought we were pretty sharp.
You mentioned that.
You've spoken of the really need basically to finish in the top four to put themselves in the best position to compete for the Pac-12 tournament. This is no longer abstract. It was 2 games with left, and your guys have won back. I mean, it's packed in the standings, I understand. But when that's the stage now, and it's also in that position, I don't want to emphasize it. Do you think the guys realize exactly what's at stake here this week?
You know, I don't know. We have talked about, you know, finishing strong, putting ourselves in position. You know, there's a lot of factors we have no control over. You know, I don't know even if we won both, if we could, you know, I don't know. But you know, we just got to go play and get better. I think the guys know that, you know, finishing strong and having some really good momentum going into the tournament would be really advantageous to us. But you know, they know the tournament's right around the corner. They know we want to finish strong. I told them a lot of the standings and that is out of our control. We just have to see what happens with other games, and you know, the tiebreakers, even, you know, depending on, you know, there's so many teams clustered in there that you can't even figure the tiebreakers out. You know, so we just got to go play, get better, and then go to Vegas and see what we can do.
That vocal leadership that Francis showed, I mean, you got to earn credibility with your teammates in order for them to hear your message. As a guy who hasn't started every game all year, he's not scoring 20 a game, what does he do to earn that credibility?
Yeah, I still respect work ethic. I mean, they can say what they want, and but they know who's out here, and who's putting the time in, and they respect discipline. They respect guys who do what, you know, even if they joke about it, you know, like a guy that gets up every morning and does what he's supposed to do, a guy that gets early to class and does what he's supposed to do. You know, they might not act like they do, but down deep, they're wishing they had that kind of discipline to get stuff done. So, yeah, he's got credibility because he does what he's supposed to do. No, we're going to go to Pullman and stay there 5 days. We are. We're going to fly up tomorrow morning and play the game at 8 o'clock, and then we'll fly out Thursday to Seattle. We're not coming back because with the late game, you know, we wouldn't get back till, you know, games at 8, 10. Get out of there at 12. We won't get back to campus till 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. So we're just going to go to Seattle on Thursday.
Because you will know exactly what the standings look like heading into the Saturday night game. If everything is already determined, like if will that change your approach, how you manage that?
No, none at all. None at all. We'll play to win, regardless. Like I said, even if, you know, it doesn't, we're playing for momentum. We got to play good. We got to play good. So it won't change my approach to anything. We're going to win, try to win, and see what happens.
Coach, with Francis being and even Kenny being more of an inside threat to score, for some teams that aren't as big, with that, considering what Miles Norris and what he can do, 6'10", would that open up some mismatches close to the basket for Miles with the tension going to those guys and his athleticism going to score?
No, I don't know. You know, our consistent scoring threats have been up forward. You know, Lou's been lead scorer. Paul's percentages have been pretty good. Miles did give us some really good minutes against Arizona. So I like those guys and what they've been able to do. And, sometimes it might be a little crowded around there because if we have Francis and Kenny playing together. It kind of muddles things up a little bit. But we just have to play a little differently and do some different things offensively. But and then we got to get more comfortable covering the corners. We gave up a couple of those early threes to Arizona because Francis and Kenny didn't get out to the corners. So we're still working on that. But no, I like the progress Miles is making. He's out there today because he knows he played well. And, he had good practice yesterday. So you like seeing that for young guys. They need a little pop every now and then to remind them how good they can be. It doesn't happen.
Does he have the turnaround jumper that he could exploit?
Miles?
That he could exploit at 6'10", some of these guys are not going to be able to match up with.
His numbers, he's shooting a really good 2%. His 3% numbers are not good, but his 2% numbers are off the charts. And they're not bad in practice. We chart everything in practice. And practice sometimes give us a little better indication, especially with guys with limited time. But Miles is, his numbers around the basket are pretty good. So, and he's developing a little hook, that I like. And, he does have that gear. So, tremendous upside there, no doubt.
Senior night too with all those guys, and they've already clinched the title. You guys have to sitting and wait for those. That can also seems like some teams spark, some teams go the other way.
Who knows? They do have a lot of seniors, and it'll be a big senior night. So, but we'll go there to play. We've had a little success there, so it's not like we're there and it's been a problem. The guys know we played well there, so it'll be a good game.
Good tune-up. To have the league champ on the game going into the conference tournament, you guys maybe an idea to see where they're at.
Who knows? That's looking at it one way. I just don't know. I don't know how to read these guys. Every group's different, so we'll just go play the games and see how we do.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.